diabetes, and death. So,
it's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gon' be safe. Everybody gon' be safe. One kind, one people. We are roll up to roll up, cause no man's alone. Do what's right, cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to let it roll out.
Bless up. Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Overdue bills have you down? Need cash for medical emergencies, vehicle repairs, or school expenses? Or are you looking to renovate your home? If your answer is yes to any of these, visit us at Quartz Ready Cash for a hassle-free Ready Cash loan today. Get up to $13,500 for whatever you need. We also offer business loans to help grow your business. There's no deposit required. It's also fast, convenient, and hassle-free. Ready Cash. We are ready when you are. Call us today at 466-1640 or visit us at readyfinancecaribbean.com.
There's nothing good about jail. I don't want to be here.
My father told me that as far as he was concerned, I could stay in the home forever.
Our children deserve a chance for change. Children make mistakes, and child justice reform can help everyone to address these mistakes appropriately. Instead of sending a child to adult prison, let us give them alternative sentencing. We must divert our children from the court system through a holistic and systematic approach to addressing their offense and their road to rehabilitation. Rehabilitation helps child offenders to grow, change, learn from mistakes, accept responsibility, and make better choices. Reintegration of child offenders into the community after rehabilitation benefits the child, the family, and the community with a more productive citizen. Join the movement to give our children a chance for change. This message is brought to you by the USAID OECS Juvenile Justice Reform Project 2, funded by the United States Agency for International Development. For more information, log on to oecs.org/JJRP.
Come to Sun Pharmacy for all your prescription medication and healthcare supplies. 2 convenient locations: Keon Street next to the Chinese supermarket and in the food court at Port Zante. Sun Pharmacy, we care about your health. Telephone 466-1074 or 466-1077. Sun Pharmacy, your pharmacy. Sun Pharmacy accepts all bank cards and medical insurance plans from Nagico Insurance, Sagico Insurance, and National Caribbean Insurance.
It takes a village
to raise our children
into productive citizens
and progressive communities.
It takes a village
to provide support to our young people
who are going down the wrong path
and need family and community support.
It takes a village
to help our children who have made a mistake,
to take responsibility
and learn from their mistakes.
It takes a village
to actively help in the rehabilitation of our youth,
to assist them in being productive,
to reintegrate back into our communities.
It takes a village
to care about each other,
to lift up our children
and make them into better adults.
It takes a village
to give our youths
a chance for change.
Join the movement
and give our children a chance for change.
This message is brought to you by the USAID OECS Juvenile Justice Reform Project 2, funded by the United States Agency for International Development. For more information, log on to oecs.org/JJRP.
Attention all drivers, I'm begging you to slow it down.
And that's what we're doing right now. We're slowing it down to bring you some information as usual on a Wednesday morning with our on-the-road traffic discussion with officers from the traffic department. In the studio with me this morning, I have no strangers to the studio on both a call. We have a call, I should say. We have Libert Shiverton, Officer Libert Shiverton.
Good morning.
And Sergeant, make sure I read it's on your shoulder, big and bright, big and bright, I should say. Sergeant McGuire in the studio with us this morning. Sergeant McGuire, we normally, once Donnelly is here, right? We normally start the show with a prayer.
Yes.
All right, so please indulge us while we get ourselves in order.
In fact, she has already designated me.
Oh,
really? To pray.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So, and you don't have a problem with that?
Not at all.
Okay, all right. So
I love to pray for everyone, the nation, and prayer is always essential.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. It's
So-
a way of communicating with our Creator.
Indeed.
Yes.
So without any further ado,
Right, we do that. And so we pray, Father and God, our Redeemer, our Savior, the omnipotent one, the one who is ruler of the entire earth. Father, we look to you this morning, and as we pause to say thank you for life, as we look to you and we give thanks for your goodness, your faithfulness, your blessings upon us, that we are able to see a new day and raise up in strength. We remember those who are sick. We remember those, oh God, who might in some way or the other face with difficulty situation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and other nations that are being faced with the pandemic. We pray, oh God, for every people of the world. And we pray especially for our own nation, St. Christopher and Nevis, the government, the institution that makes this nation the nation it is. But God, we recognize you as sovereign, and so we thank you for your continued guidance and your enablement and strength. And we give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Indeed, indeed. All right, so let me ask this question now. Who will be hosting the program and who is the guest?
Sergeant McGuire is the guest, and I will be hosting.
Over to you, Donnelly.
Yes. Good morning to the general public and those persons who are listening to us from whatever platform. We are always grateful for your support, and I always say our program is not the same without you.
Yes.
And we're always happy and grateful for the calls that we get, whether it be in a negative way or just to give comments or give us information. Today with us we have Sergeant McGuire, who is a sergeant of police and also the sergeant in charge of the Old Road Police Station. Sergeant McGuire is here with us this morning. He had his stint at the traffic department a few years back, and so he's well aware of what goes on with the program. However, this morning Sergeant McGuire is here to give us some insight as to what goes on in District B, as he's in that side of the country now. And so for us to be aware of what goes on, as opposed to me just bringing all the information from District A. We have Sergeant Maguire who's going to give us some information on District B. He's going to speak to derelict vehicles. He's going to touch on the safety initiative program that they have in Old Road, and he's going to touch on the new road that we have with speeding, along with any other thing that he would want to give us information on. So without any further ado, I'll turn over to Mr. Maguire.
Right. Thank you so much, Donnelly, for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Indeed.
I used to enjoy coming and interact with the people and interact with you, GQ, on Traffic Talk.
Yes, well.
And so this morning I just want to basically highlight some very significant areas that seemingly becoming challenges for us. And as Donnelly indicated, it will be centered around derelict vehicles or abandoned vehicles being left on the road, and speeding, which is a challenge. A matter of fact, but let me just lay a foundation first in terms of the last time when I would have engaged the general public. I had my notes from the last time, and interestingly, the same notes I had is what really seems to continue to happen. We continue to emphasize road safety in terms of the traffic enforcement in relation to the rules of the road, to ensure that we reduced the number of accidents that are happening in our district. In Old Road, from January to April, we have 35 accidents. And all of those accidents happen as a result of the circumstances surrounding those accidents resulting from speeding. We have 6 of those 35 accidents as very serious accidents. One omnibus that happens sometime in January. 9 passengers were on that bus, and all the passengers were injured. 2 passengers were hospitalized. That person has since been charged for reckless driving. And GQ, that is what we are going to do, because we are going to step up in terms of the seriousness of the accidents. We no longer are going, when serious accidents like these occur, we are going to charge for the mere driving without due and attention.
All right.
As Superintendent Henry had really allowed me to this when he said it is unfair that someone who might have a mere mishap, where you're driving, somebody abruptly stopped, and you get in an accident, you're being charged with driving without due and attention, and you have, as opposed to someone who really have no regard to the other road users, speeding, driving recklessly, overtaking, and getting an accident, causing injury to other person, and they have been charged with the same offense. And so we are going to step that up. A matter of fact, we are even, where the circumstances arise, we are going to charge for dangerous driving. And with dangerous driving, your license can be suspended even before the trial. Your license can be
so in
suspended.
some cases you'll take immediate actions.
Right. So the circumstances, the gravity of the circumstances that surround the causation of the accidents will be heavily weighed in terms of the determination of what level of the charges that will be once the investigation is being conducted.
Okay.
And so these accidents, you have one with the passenger bus. This is then another one involving a 4-year-old child. That is the one where the vehicle went over and the new road and went over down to the bayside in the sea. Well, not in the sea, but on the
rocks.
On the rocks. A 4-year-old child was in that vehicle. Thankfully, that child, no serious injury or anything has happened to the child. Thankfully, that the parents of the child at the time the child was well seated and strapped in the seat.
Oh, really?
The car seat. I believe that is what contributed tremendously to the safety of that child. Then you have another one where this is a pedestrian, where a rush student was crossing, using the crossing, and so a bus would have stopped to indicate for the student to cross. And this is the other thing, the impatience of motorists, GQ. You see a vehicle stop, you don't even wait a while and make sure that as soon as the vehicle stop, you're ready to pull out, to overtake and go. And that is the circumstances that led to that accident where the student got knocked down right on a crossing. You overtaking on a crossing. And the other one is involve a motorcyclist where the driver of the motor car, she was reversing, and the cyclist came from behind and was trying to pass, and in doing so she crossed the road at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And so he resulted in some serious injuries. And so we think that it is important to emphasize the safety of driving on our road, because at the end of the day it is for everybody. The other thing that I want to mention is that with the construction of the new Old Road B, the road has not yet been fully commissioned, but because of the safety, it is used temporarily. And given the incomplete condition of it, the surface is concrete, people are not taking that into consideration, and so they continue to speed because it's somewhat wide. And so from an enforcement standpoint,
it is wide.
It is wide, yes. Thank you. And from an enforcement standpoint, we have made it a matter of priority to ensure that we have consistent police presence in that area. Matter of fact, I just came from there.
Oh, really?
And we continue to really ticket.
So they were just speeding
offenders.
gun and everything?
Yeah, we have a speeding gun. And the thing about it, this is what drivers do. When they see the police, they drive slow. And as soon as they pass the police, back at it again. Especially the bus drivers. And so I am very intolerant to that kind of behavior. It gives an image of disrespect. I wish, GQ, that the police, the citizens, motorists, doesn't have to wait for the police present for them to comply with the law. We should be law-abiding citizens. So whether police officers are present or not, you know that there is a certain limit. The speed limit is 40 miles. You just drive within the speed limit. And so even when the police is present, you're still having the disregard for the safety of the road. And so I thank Danali for the opportunity to come and really highlight those. Now, at the Old Road Station, we have some monthly objectives that I have set to ensure that we properly serve the community and police the policing district. So we have 5 objectives. One is crime prevention, continuous improvement to road safety. That is whether by way of enforcement or whether by just having a mere police present, because not every time we go on the road that we go intentionally to issue ticket. We go on the road to observe and see whether persons are complying or not. And also the engagement of the community. And another objective is improving the service delivery, the way we serve the persons within our policing district. And so we want to try to mesh the enforcement, which is the harder part of policing, with the softer part of policing in terms of that community community relationship. And so what we have sought to do, we have initiate what we call a district advisory committee on crime prevention and community policing. And so we have tapped into very influential persons within that society, teachers, church leaders, community activists, and so on. And so we have that committee in place. We meet once a month, and it is a way of having that shared responsibility in terms of law enforcement. So then it should not only be seen that is the sole responsibility of the police, but also the community citizens, law-abiding citizens, also has that responsibility to work along with the police. And we have been already heeding the fruit from that. It's just yesterday because Mr. Eugene Diaz, who is part of the committee, he would have raised some concerns about the parking just within the area of Trinity, by the highway bar shop, Grape Patch shop. And his own experience has been where he just miraculously avoided an accident in that area, because when people go to patronize the bar, they would park and park negligently in a way without being mindful of the ongoing traffic. And so he has since made a donation. He promised to sow some paint, because I told him that we are having some challenge with the paint
resources.
Right, the resources. And so he made it his business, and he went and he purchased 2 gallons of the traffic paint.
Okay, so he's not just talking.
He ain't just talking. He put action to what he said. And so I just want to use this opportunity to extend thanks and appreciation to him as a citizen, and one who has really the interests of the safety and of everyone, and so on. And I want to also encourage other citizens, other persons to take the opportunity to work as closely as possible with the police. The final thing I want to say before I hand back over to Donnelly is that within the Old Road District, we recognize that there are many vehicles left abandoned or derelict on the road. And it creates hazard to the point you have to think of in the event of an emergency or sickness, in terms of the ambulance moving and so on.
Causing obstruction.
Right, causing obstruction. And so we have gone and get in touch with some of those owners of those vehicles. We recognize that there have not been any compliance, and so the law has given us that authority to really deal with situations like those. And so we will be going about and look for these vehicles. First we give them the notice, and if there isn't any compliance, then we enforce the law as it says. I don't know if Donnelly want me to point, because persons might be interested in knowing exactly what is the authority that the police has. And section 35 of the Vehicles and Road Traffic Act, chapter 15.06, the section 45 speaks to the removal of vehicles from or upon parking places. It says within containing the regulation or the previous Schedule 3, the regulation relating to any particular parking place. The driver or other persons in charge of any vehicle using or about to use any parking shall comply with the direction given to the police by any member of the police force in uniform, and shall, if required by such member of the police force, remove his or her vehicle from the parking place or move it from one position to another in such parking place. It shall be lawful for any member of the police force in uniform or other persons authorized by such member of the police force for any reasonable cause to remove any vehicle from any parking place or to move it from one position or the other. And 48 speaks to broken down vehicles. It says it shall be the duty of the owner, driver, or other persons in control or in charge of any vehicle. A, when the vehicle has broken down on a road in such circumstances that the defects cannot be remedied within a reasonable time, or the presence of the vehicle is likely unnecessarily to obstruct or to cause danger or to other persons using the road. B, when required to do so by a member of the police force on the ground that the vehicle has been permitted to remain at rest on a road in such a position or in such condition or in such circumstances as to be likely to cause danger to other persons using the road. And so that is the authority that we are relying on in terms of, and so we don't really always want to have to come down with any big stick and trying to make people do things.
Right.
We will prefer to have a very community approach. So then persons have to see it from a point where each of us has a shared responsibility, because when the police come, it's not the police come and doing it. The police is thinking about the entire community, the safety of the community. And so each of us have to play our part in making sure or ensuring that the community is safe. The other reason why this can be is not acceptable, criminal elements, these are opportunities for persons either to conceal things. It also have a health impact to it for rodents and other thing. So we also work along with the health and environment, where vehicles are not on the road, but you might be on a private property, but the vehicle is derelict. Then this is where the health and environment personnel comes in, and we work along with them together.
Okay.
One of the things I need to point out also, if the police give you the opportunity to remove your vehicle and you have not complied and it is being removed by the police, the cost for the removal should be borne by you.
Should be or will be?
Will be.
Okay.
Will be. Yeah? Because the law make provision for that. And so that is why we are using this medium to basically try to sensitize the community, give you an opportunity to come into compliance. And so by the time we come and we make our check and the verification, and if there isn't any compliance, we'll place the notice. And still, if there isn't any compliance, there is no time for negotiation at this time.
Right. So after you
have your vehicle removed, it will either be taken to the solid waste, or in the case of derelict vehicles, or in the case of abandoned vehicle where it is still in working condition, but for some reason it's not serviceable, and then we will have it impounded, and you will be responsible for the payment of the towing fee for it to be returned before it is returned back to you.
Now, Donald, before you jump in, I'm going to ask you if it's okay we go over time.
Yes, that's
all right. And we still haven't heard from all listeners as yet.
Yes.
It's 9 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if there are any listening. We're going to take a break, get a word from our sponsor for the 9 o'clock report, which is the Grange, and then we'll be back to take your calls. Well, sorry, hear from Donnelly before we take your calls. I don't want to ambush you now, Donnelly.
That's okay.
Stay tuned.
only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gon' be safe. Everybody gon' be safe. One kind, one people. We are roll up to roll out. Cause no man's alone. Do what's right. Cause I love you. Brother, my sister. And we're in this together. My sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
I will take the vaccine because building defenses against COVID-19 is a team effort, and we are all a key part of that defense.
I definitely will be taking the vaccine when it's my turn.
I will be taking the vaccine as it is an important tool in the fight against the pandemic.
It is important for me to vaccinate to ensure that if I do become infected with the disease, it can prevent hospitalization. In addition, it also helps with herd immunity.
I will take the vaccine to protect myself, my loved ones, my clients, my co-workers, my community.
St. Kitts and Nevis, why do we need to vaccinate? Kenisha? So we can jab COVID-19 away.
Today we're at the Newtown Health Center where we've had the official launch of the COVID-19 vaccination program. We are so pleased to have had quite a cross-section of individuals who were represented here today and taking the vaccine. We had members of the cabinet, we had persons from the medical fraternity, doctors and nurses alike, and we've had quite a number of other persons from the clergy, from immigration, from police, you name it, they were all here to take their first dose of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. And so we all got our COVID-19 vaccination card to indicate that we would have taken our first dose of the vaccine. Once we come back in 10 weeks, we will have our second dose, and then once we got that second dose, then the cards would be stamped at the front with the Ministry of Health stamp, and that is to finalize that you did receive both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. A reminder that the vaccine helps us to ensure that persons do not have severe illness or death. And so we're encouraging persons to step forward and take the vaccine. Get all the facts that you need to get. The Ministry of Health provides all of the information. The facts on the vaccine are on the covid19.gov.kn website. And so we're asking you and urging each and everyone to come out and get your vaccine. Look at the information, get all the information that you need, whatever makes you comfortable. But I can assure you that we have all taken it so far, and I'm feeling good. My arm is good. It was a vaccine, and so I'm excited about that. And so I'm looking forward to my second dose to say I'm completely vaccinated for COVID-19. And as the science continues to evolve, I'm sure we'll find more information and more benefits as to why you should take the COVID-19 vaccine. But for now, I know that since I've been vaccinated, I lower the risk of me getting severe illness or death from COVID-19. I also know that I'm protecting myself, my family, and my community. So I'm asking everyone, get the facts and then get the vax. Today was an example that it is safe, and we urge each and everyone, when it's your turn and your stage come around, to get vaccinated. As we progress, we will provide more information as to the next stage and who will be next. And so look out for that information from the Ministry of Health. We'll keep you informed, we'll keep you updated, we'll let you know how many persons have been vaccinated, and we'll let you know when it's your turn that you can make your appointment calling 311 or any of the health centers. So go ahead, get your vaccination.
Just witnessed the handing over of a generous donation of 20,000 doses of the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine.
It was a kind donation, and India understands that it is important for us to be able to ensure that the entire world is free of COVID-19, and the only way we can do that is through vaccination.
We welcome these additional doses because it would help us to provide a significant coverage, a greater percentage of our population in terms of vaccination against this virus.
And just to note that St. Kitts and Nevis is also paying forward, and we're going to assist the government and people of Grenada by donating 2,000 of those 20,000 to the people of Grenada. And so once again, we just want to thank the government of India, and remember, don't wait, vaccinate.
It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gon' be safe. Everybody gon' be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. 'Cause no man's alone. Do what's right, alright. 'Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to let it roll out.
Bless up. Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
I will take the vaccine because building defenses against COVID-19 is a team effort, and we are all a key part of that defense.
I definitely will be taking the vaccine when it's my turn.
I will be taking the vaccine as it is an important tool in the fight against the pandemic. It is important for me to vaccinate to ensure that if I do become infected with the disease, it can prevent hospitalization. In addition, it also helps with herd immunity.
I will take the vaccine to protect myself, my loved ones, my clients, my co-workers, my community.
St. Kitts and Nevis, why do we need to vaccinate? Kenisha? So we can jab COVID-19 away.
Today we're at the Newtown Health Center, where we've had the official launch of the COVID-19 vaccination program. We are so pleased to have had quite a cross-section of individuals who were represented here today and taking the vaccine. We had members of the cabinet, we had persons from the medical fraternity, doctors and nurses alike, and we've had quite a number of other persons from the clergy, from immigration, from police, you name it, they were all here to take their first dose of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine.
Are you ready? You're ready. Are you ready? You're ready. Are you ready? You're ready. You're ready. The people them ready, 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 ready. Feed a style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready, calling me school on ya. Ha, ha, ha. Watch me, I'm up the love ya. Tell them, respect themselves, respect the youth, respect your elders, man. Know what you are sing, what you are bring, what you are put in a song. Cause when the streets find out you know real, you come here now belong. You are go surprised to want see you feel. Take me advice, man. Me did just a cool for a bit. Now me back on me studio shit. Magician just send me a beat. Come record this quick. That wonderful who taught me the quit. When them know what me start this shit. Me a the captain, this a my team. And me a steal this shit. The people them ready, 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 ready. Feed a style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready, calling me school on ya. Ha, ha, ha. Watch me, I'm up, I love ya. Look how long me a style. All when me no sing songs for a while. Me have so much hits, I beat them like a child. And me real in the streets, oh no check me profile. And me never switched, K&A all the while. I fast than a who boost them. They must don't know about me, let me tell you about fake friends. When I know about loyalty, me watch them, me not trust them. Cause them not like me, them still can't do it like me. All they fight, them all a fight me. The people them ready, 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 ready. Feed a style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready, calling me school on ya. Ha, ha, ha. Watch me, I'm up, I love ya. Tell them, respect themselves, respect the youth, respect your elders, man. Know what you are sing, what you are bring, what you are put in a song. Cause when the streets find out you know real, you come here now belong. You are go surprised to want see you feel. Take me advice, man. Me did just a cool for a bit. Now me back on me studio shit. Magician just send me a beat. Come record this quick. That wonderful who taught me the quit. When they know what me start this shit. Me a the captain, this a my team. And me a steal this shit. The people them ready, 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 ready. Feed a style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready, calling me school on ya. Ha, ha, ha. Watch me, I'm up, I love ya. The people them ready, 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 ready. Feed a style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready.
It's on the road or traffic discussion. In the studio with me, just in case you turn on your radio, or just turn on your radio, I have Officer Donnelly Liebert-Chiverton and Sergeant McGuire in the studio with me. Before our break, Sergeant McGuire was alerting us and updating us on District A, I think
District
it is?
B.
District B,
yes.
In terms of what's happening and what they're doing out there. And we're now going to roll over to Donnelly and hear from her before we open the lines. 465-2555 will be the number to call when she's finished.
Yes, good morning again. And we want to thank Sergeant McGuire for his presentation, and we really appreciate it. He was very educational, and I hope that the persons in the general public would take his information and use it wisely, because his information is really, really important. And I, even though me being a police officer in traffic department, he would have sensitized me on things, and I'm really, really appreciative of that information.
Okay, you're not down there. You're up here.
Right, I'm in District A, and so I'm happy for what is going on in District B, and for him to come to the program and to relate to us.
Yes.
I remember in my previous programs, I would have said to the general public that we would use our last Wednesdays for you, the general public, to call in and give your information and share your views. But today we would have used the program to bring Sergeant Maguire to inform us of what we need to know, what we need to be aware of. And so without any further ado, without going any further into the program and taking up any more of your time, I would give you a chance now to call in, speak to what Sergeant Maguire would have spoken about, and anything that you want to bring to the program. So I open the lines to you.
All right. Your headphone is set?
Yes.
You're hearing yourself?
Yes, mine is set, yes.
Good morning. You are live.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to the entire panel, especially Pastor Maguire, Donnelly, and all your listeners.
Good morning.
I want to make an appeal to the Ministry of Public Utilities to patch the ditches that are on the Island Main Road, around the island, that are in areas that have already been resurfaced. And some of those ditches and patches have been existing for over 2 years. Some of them 2 to 3 years. What they're failing to realize is that there is no driver who wants to pass in the ditch. So what we see happening is that all the drivers are trying to sidestep or drive around those ditches in those dangerous spots. I can call out all of them. I can call all of them. You have 4 of them in Halfway Tree. One has been filled with clay. Thank goodness to the person who had the presence of mind to fill that. We have one in St. Paul's. We have a big one in Newton Ground, near to the primary school. The one in St. Paul's is a very dangerous one. They need to patch those ditches that are in the areas where the island's main road has already been resurfaced. That is what I'm saying. I have no issue with the laying of the fiber optic cables and the replacement of bad lines in old road and so forth. I am thankful to the government and the Ministry of Public Infrastructure for resurfacing the road. It's a tremendous job. And I highly commend and compliment them for undertaking such a project. But we as bus drivers, we are having difficulties with those patches in the areas that have already been resurfaced. I think that they need to address those. Mr. Gilbert, Public Utilities, Public Infrastructure, I am appealing as a bus driver to please patch those ditches because they've been there for a long, long time. For instance, there is one close to the residence of Constance Mitchell. Along the road there in Old Road, when you come from the thoroughfare, when you leave Spratney, I have seen almost 3 accidents take place around that corner there because of a ditch. So I'm appealing to the public infrastructure, public utilities, road division, to patch those ditches for us, please. Please patch them. I have a suggestion for Old Road. I believe one of the things they can do to alleviate the traffic congestion in Old Road, you can do two things. You can source funds from whoever have money in the world and do an overpass. I have traveled to Canada, America, the United Kingdom, and I've seen overpasses work. So an overpass can be done in Old Road. There are overpasses all over England. I have seen them. And another thing they can do too is seek permission from the people who own the private land in the Old Road area. And you link the roads from Stone Fort there, near to Constance Mitchum's residence, and you come down by Spratney. And you can also link that road with the road that goes up to Wingfield, so you can ease up the traffic congestion in Old Road. I think that is something that they need to look at. If you can't do that, well, then you can claim land from the sea and do another thoroughfare across by the Spratney. So something has to be done to ease up Old Road. I believe that they need to look long and hard at that and get that done. So that's my contribution for today. God bless.
All right, thank you for your call and suggestions. I do believe it's a bit out of the realms of the police. This sounds like a matter for legislation. And, remember, the police are the ones to, how can I put it, enforce the laws that are implemented. They're not the ones to make the laws. So even though your suggestions are welcome on board, I do hope the people who are in position to make something happen take your suggestion. Let's take another call. Good morning. You are live.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, GQ and Donnelly and Officer Maguire.
Yes.
Yes.
This morning, Officer Maguire was making reference to a circumstance in which some accidents occur, whereby a passenger bus stops either to let persons cross, or some vehicle stops to let persons cross, and that somebody tries to overtake. What I wanted to point out is something that I can speak to because of my experience, having had situations where I am behind a passenger bus in particular, and the passenger bus driver has on the left indicator, which could be an indication that I can either pass or that he is slowing down to pull over. But having already pulled over, they keep that indicator on. Meanwhile, they are giving you hand signals with their hand to tell you not to pass. And sometimes you cannot see their hand signal, and so you are going by the light indicator and thinking that you can pass, only to find that somebody is crossing or something else is happening in front there. And I keep wondering whether or not they are trained to use those signals, and if sometimes they are too busy, sometimes they're making change, that they are not looking at what traffic is coming up ahead, and so they are basically giving you sometimes the wrong signal or two signals at the same time, one with the light and one with the hand. So I wanted you to speak to that issue and to see how we can sensitize some of those drivers, particularly bus drivers, that their light indicator is very, very important. And once the light indicator is on, they cannot be giving a conflicting signal with their hand, because it is causing problems with the other driver who is waiting to pass or trying to pass. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your call and your suggestion. Well, at least to me, it sounds like a suggestion for a topic that you both can take into consideration to have on the air one of these mornings. It's not only just the bus drivers, sir. It's in general, traffic on the road in general. So maybe that's something you all can look into. Yes. I don't know if you want to add anything to what he's saying before we move on, though.
Well, I can relate to what he's saying because even myself coming from work, I think Monday night, a bus driver pulled over to put off a passenger, pick up a passenger. And so I was in the process of passing, recognizing that. And maybe by the time I'm passing, the passenger already in the bus, and the bus just take off.
What is the law say to that, though? I mean, apart from having a suggestion for the topic, what does the law say to that? Is that an offense? Is it something that is not on the books and maybe need to be amended?
Well, it is considered driving without consideration for the road users. The highway code is what really speaks to that. But it's all a matter of driving courtesy. You know you pulled over, you're about to, because once you pull off a road, you're out of the flow. And so whenever you're going to rejoin the flow, the law place the responsibility on you to make sure that it is clear before you can move off. And so it's not for you to just, and I see it happen a lot. Sometimes it seems as though that we tend to hit the bus drivers, but it's very prevalent with the bus drivers. When they pull off the road, whether to put off passenger or take a passenger, and they rejoin in the traffic, they just drive off without even make sure that there isn't any oncoming traffic. So I can relate to the experience of the caller.
So,
but it's something that requires ongoing education.
Okay, all right. So not the bringing down the hammer of the law.
Right. The driving courtesy, and because all this speaks to road safety and the importance of making sure, because you are not only keeping yourself safe, you are making sure that others are safe.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phone line. Line 1, you're live, and good morning.
Yeah, good morning to everyone there.
Good morning.
Last week I heard, in reference to the derelict vehicles, last week I heard Donnelly say they're going to start with Marquis Street. That's fine. But I would like you to take a look at the playfield behind the gas station and the bottling company. If you want to see derelict vehicles, go behind there. You come down the street by the Democrat, and you know the gas station is on the other side, and turn the first right. There's a playfield behind there. The road is a narrow road. It's not a one-way, but it's narrow. You go behind there, is endless derelict vehicles right on the playfield. So Donnelly, please, after you're done to Marquis Street, go up the village.
All right.
Thank you very much, caller. And I can say this to you, that last Friday morning between 5 and 7:30 a.m., we started in the St. Johnson area. We did Millionaire Street and all the Wrigley Avenue and all those little areas around there. So we are still in your area. And like I would have said on the program, even though we said that we would have been dealing with Market Street and Soho and Shadwell site and those areas, once you would calling and give us this insight, we can always, because we are not a small team, we can have 2 persons do that area, 2 persons do that area. So thank you very much for that information, caller.
And please add, it's not removing the vehicles that you're doing, it's giving out notices.
Notices, yes. I'm giving notices.
There's a misconception, because after you left, a lady called about maybe 2 days after, and she said, "But I thought they said they're going to move the vehicle out to Market Street. I still see them up there." Blah, blah, blah. And I know you took your time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you said that it's giving
Notices, yes.
based on the law.
Yes.
You just can't go and take up someone's vehicle.
And once we give a notice, we still have to inform the owner. And if we don't get in touch with that owner, or if that owner does not see that that notice, it means then that owner has really abandoned that vehicle. Because if you're saying the vehicle is not abandoned, and I put a sticker or a notice on it, and for 7 days you have not seen it, then you really abandon the vehicle. But it is that we put notices. We have a 48-hour notice, and we also have a 7-day notice. So it's 2 notices, one for derelict vehicles and one for broken down vehicles.
All right. Let's go to the phone line. Line 3, good morning, and you are live.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, morning.
I want to advise Officer Donnelly that her enthusiasm, her zeal and zest for policing in general and for traffic in particular is not unnoticed by a lot of us. But I thought I heard Officer Maguire say earlier that if a driver is charged with dangerous driving, his license can be suspended even before trial. So I'm wondering, is he suggesting or is he indicating that the police itself, the police force, is empowered to suspend the driver's license in and of itself? I thought that such authority was vested only in magistrate. So a license clarification on that, please. Thank you.
All right. Over to you, Sergeant Maguire.
Yes, the section of the law speaks to the suspension of license in the Vehicle and Road Traffic Act. Check for
And do be with us. They're making sure they get the accurate information to read you what the law says, opposed to just telling you what they feel. So at least you have the correct information going forward. And while he do so,
right, we could take another call, so I could.
Right, I was just about to suggest that. Right. So while you do that, Donnelly, you're gonna hold on the fort for him.
Yes.
Yes.
Good morning.
I want to before we take another call, Judge GQ, I just want to thank the caller for his input. Really grateful for your support. Thank you so much.
Good morning. You are live.
GQ, good morning and good morning to everybody. I have some concerns, right? And I listened here to the program, and I hear nobody mentioning it. One, that center line there, I use the F.T. Williams highway a lot. And the center line, the white line, I don't know if these people think that they're in an aeroplane, because the only place I know use a center line as a guideline is when you're on the airport, when you're plane coming down and going up. And people are driving on the middle line, the center line, the white line. You're supposed to drive between the white line and the right or left side of the road. So if you, the oncoming driver, do the same thing, then you're going to crash up. The next problem I have is that the roundabout. Let's say especially the one there by the ECCB Bank. You have a left lane and a right lane. The left lane carry either to Frigate Bay, either to Boardwalk, or to TDC. You on the left lane, I'm indicating where I'm going. Some of them are so hurried to pass you that they pass you on the in lane. Here am I some days ago, going into Boardwalk. I'm on the left lane where I'm supposed to go. So I'm either going to Frigate Bay. You can't assume where I'm going, but I'm on the left lane going. I'm on the lane going to go into Boardwalk Road. And this person on the right of me trying to pass me to go the same direction. You know, I don't understand that people do not understand these roundabouts, or they just hurry. I am in the right lane going into Boardwalk, and he's on the meaning the correct lane. Let me use that word. And he's in the right lane trying to pass me to go to Boardwalk. The next thing somebody said something a while ago about suspending people's license. Too often I see Bucky got it. Cars upon one another. Cars turn over in the street. Just the other day I saw one where a bus must be run out the road just east of Best Boy. I mean, we're lucky that nobody walking in the street when these things happening. License must be suspended. You're telling me that the police don't have the right to suspend a license, they have to go to court? When a man mash up a vehicle like that there, and it may be the right thing, you have to go to court to speed in. You know, too many Bucky got it. Every time I put on my phone, Bucky got it. One car can run out the road in Old Road. Another one run out the road in the sea. Where are all these things happening? I listened to the whole program this morning, and I said, okay, but we have to address this. And there's another issue I have. People don't use the hazard. You park up to drop off somebody, put on your hazard, man. When I see somebody has it on, I realize something happened up front. And if I have to pass, I'm going to pass a good way, avoiding oncoming traffic. And next thing again, see which is antiquated, is that people learning to drive. I was behind somebody who was learning to drive the other day here. I could see that the police was in the vehicle. Rain was coming. The person put on the indicator, didn't put out the hand. Why are we using hand? Still, it's antiquated. People must learn to recognize indicators, and indicators indicate to you what is happening up front. Nobody's supposed to be using hand in later days. That's antiquated. That's 1940 something. They need to done away with it and use the indicator. That's what it's for. People coming around there by this toll station there. He's going down by the Moravian Church. You realize that he's over on the left. So he could be either going F.T. William Road or he coming down by the Moravian Church. So you have to stop because you do not know where he's going. No indicator. And when you talk about it, some of these people who teach people to drive come on and cuss you out. People must learn to use the indicator. Rain coming, high wind blowing, you can't be turning down your light. Your windows. People must learn to use the indicator. I could understand sometime, because we're living in the Caribbean here in St. Kitts. And people trying to pass me, especially on the King Colony Highway. Well, I see him trying to pass me. There's an incoming traffic. A police officer, I pull over, and I will put out my hand, which is not really right, to flag him down. Don't pass something coming up front. You know, all these kind of antiquated ways we have here, they need to done away with it. That's what indicators are for. Good program. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Carla. You said a mouthful.
Yes. So before I let you respond to that, caller, Donnelly, I would let Maguire address the issue about...
Right. Now, Section 48, Section 49 of the, and even Section 50 speaks to, of the Vehicles and Road Traffic Act, speak to reckless driving, Section 48, or dangerous driving. 49 is careless driving, and 50 speaks to causing death by reckless or dangerous driving. And so let me try to explain the difference. Now, the law speaks to the vested power in the court or the magistrate has to do with disqualification from holding a driver's license, meaning that you are deemed by the court not to be a competent driver, so you're disqualified from holding a driver's license. What I was speaking to is suspension, which is a temporary hold based on the circumstances surrounding the accident. What the caller has to recognize that the law invested in terms of powers within the licensing authority, who is the Commissioner of Police, and the licensing authority the law gives the Commissioner of Police that power to suspend a driver's license if the person, it has to be circumstances surrounding that.
But regardless, though, based on the situation, you do have the authority to suspend.
Right, you do have the authority to suspend, and far more, the law. There is a proviso that in the case where it affects a person's livelihood, let's suppose that a bread driver or a bus driver and so on, and you suspend the bus driver's license, then that person, and this is before the matter go to the court, that person can appeal to the transport board. The transport board
can make a case.
To make a case, and then based on that, and that is how that can thing. But the condition in which one can, if the licensing authority suspend your driver's license, that you can get your license back before the case, is where you if you that is your livelihood, that is your tool of the trade. In relation to that, you can make an appeal, and then based on that, then the discussion can be held. So when I alluded to, I really reference suspension and not disqualification.
Okay, all right. I understand what you're saying. Let's go back to the phone line. Line 1. Okay, we lost that one. Let's try line 3. Good morning. You're live.
Good morning.
Morning.
Let me turn the radio down.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. While we wait.
Okay. Good morning again.
Good morning.
Did I hear is Maguire something? Is one of the
Sergeant?
officers?
Yes, Sergeant Maguire.
From the Old Road police station?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so my thing is directed to you then. Is there on the Old Road Bay, the road, which we call Old Road Bay Road? Is that now a 3-lane road? Hello?
I have to say no, sir. We don't have any 3-lane road in St.
Because what is happening now, I don't know if you're aware of it, but what is happening on that road? Let's say there's a vehicle is coming from the Old Road end, right, and one is coming from the Bastard, the Stoneport Challengers end, going down. And a vehicle, let's say each vehicle has a vehicle coming up behind them. You have vehicle passing vehicles on that road. Like they say one coming from Old Road, the one coming from Old Road have a vehicle coming behind it, the one that is behind the vehicle coming from Old Road is passing while the two vehicles are kind of approaching each other in a close way. So now you're having, people, sometimes because you see vehicle passing, a vehicle coming towards you, people attempt now to pull to the left, further to the left, You know, and to me that is probably going to cause accident. I am wondering if that was probably why the vehicle went over the bay down there, because you see vehicle coming towards you. You know, it's only 2 lanes, and vehicle approaching, passing another vehicle with speed. So you're pulling off to your left, not thinking about, hey, there's a the thing there or the rock there, you could run into them. You're just trying to get away from the one that is passing the one that is approaching you. Right. So I am wondering if there's a 3 lane down there, it should be marked so that people could, you could see, so that people could pass each other more comfortable, and people could be more comfortable when you see people passing, because it's 3 lanes, so you could pull in your lane and the other one go by this business. Thanks for listening.
Your sarcasm is noted, but I hope you're not. I hope you're not suggesting that we make down there 3 lane now.
No. I'm saying, the drivers already have it as to be a 3 lane.
Yeah, I know.
Because of the wideness of the area.
Some drivers.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's what I meant. Some drivers, because of the wideness of the area, they have it to be a 3 lane. Because if you're passing vehicles, and vehicle passing like the 3 vehicles together sometime when you pass, one in the middle and the both end. They have it to be a 3 lane. So I guess the police need to pay a little more attention to down there.
Well, I don't know if you heard, or I don't know if you just turned your radio or if you were listening.
Yes, I just did.
Okay, well, what they have done in that area now, as I understand, they are now on the road.
More policing.
So I think they're there now. So they're there with their speeding guns and policing that road heavily. So that should be minimized now.
Because I was thinking the next thing to do is maybe put speed bumps down there.
Oh boy, I think the law doesn't approve that speed bumps on main road. But thanks for calling though.
Put some drainage in the road then. Where some drainage where they got to slow down to go through the drain, over the drain.
Well, your suggestion is taken. I mean, your suggestion has been made, and hopefully, something will be taken on.
I hope so, because I don't want to think that the accident that happened down there was the cause of that. And if it wasn't that, I hope that we don't have anything like that happening. All right, thanks a lot.
Yes, ma'am. Before we take the next call, or do you want to respond to what he was saying? That's okay for you? Yeah. Donnelly, you were looking up some information there for a previous caller.
Yes. Caller number 5, I want to thank you for your call. You would have given us a mouthful. You spoke about the suspension of license, which Sergeant Maguire would have cleared up. You also spoke about hazard lights. Hazard lights is hazard warning lights, and these may use when a vehicle is stationary and to warn persons temporarily of whatever obstruction. However, some persons use their hazard lights when it's not necessary, meaning they want to block the road for them to stop to go in KFC to buy a piece of chicken or to get a plate of food from the Chinese. They park on the yellow line and they run into the Chinese and they put on the hazard lights. That is not what hazard lights are used for. That is not the proper use of the hazard lights. And so you using your hazard light to commit an offense is an offense.
Okay. So even though he's asking that people would use hazard lights, you're saying do it cautiously.
Cautiously.
Okay.
The caller also spoke about hand signals. And that is so 1920 and 1940.
He suggested it is archaic. He feels that we should done away with it.
Yes, but we cannot, because we are still being guided by the official highway code.
With the hand signal?
Yes, he did say that on the program.
So, but if his suggestion is taken into consideration, that would not be a matter for the police, though. That would be a matter for legislators.
Yes. Because we, like I said, we are still guided, and so for him to use.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. But it is what it is, and you have to be guided by the law. So until otherwise, regardless of how he feels, the law is the law.
The law is the law.
I understand.
The law is the law. He spoke to the persons who are learning to drive, the learners. Every instructor must have their vehicle with an L placed at the front and the rear of the vehicle, so that the driving public must know that there is a learner on the road. We can't get rid of the learner, they're learning, and we don't have a separate road for learners. And so we just have to be a little patient sometimes when it comes to the learners.
All right. Exercise patience.
Exercise patience.
He spoke about overtaking in the roundabouts.
Oh, he spoke about the roundabout. And GQ, on previous program, they would have spoken about roundabouts. And this morning, while coming to work around quarter to 8, my phone rang, and there was this gentleman on the other end of my phone, and he was like, "Officer, you're going on the radio this morning?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Because I want you to speak about the roundabout. Here I am at Birdwalk, and someone just overtook me," and he was all frantic. And I said to him, "Well, I could understand exactly where the driver is coming from and the caller just now, because ever so often, GQ, there is so many situations that I have when it comes to persons using the roundabout. Persons still not aware. Some persons are aware and are just lawless, and some persons are still not aware. And so we would continue to enforce and educate persons when it comes to the roundabout. If you're coming from the Kim Collins Highway, let's say you're coming from Connery, and you're using the roundabout by the airport, and you want to go to Frigate Bay, or you want to go downtown Bastia, you stay on the left lane or on the outer lane. If you're going straight ahead, or if you're going to the airport, or if you're going around the roundabout, you stay on the inner lane, which is the right lane. If you're using the roundabout by the Gillard gas station, you're coming from the airport, and you're using the roundabout by Gillard's. If you're going downtown, or if you're going straight ahead to continue to the gas station, you stay on the outer lane or the left lane. If you're going around the roundabout, or if you're going to that little off-road that they have right there, that little outlet they have right there on the right, you stay on the right lane or the inner lane. If you're using the roundabout by Central Bank, and you're coming from Connery, and you're going to Frigate Bay or Birdwalk, you use the outer lane, which is the left lane. If you're going by the gas station, or you're going to Automotive Arts, or you're going back around the roundabout, you stay on the right lane or the inner lane.
Thank you very much. We're going to take these last two calls, and we're going to wrap up the program. I know you all have to go, and it's gone way beyond your time that you're expected to be here. Good morning.
Very pleasant morning again.
Good morning. Can I?
Yeah, I'll make it quick. I'll make it very quick. There's a suggestion I want to make with respect to the pedestrian crossing at the intersection in Keon, very close to the Sandbox Tree, and I think it's either a Methodist or Moravian church, a big church there. The suggestion I'm making is that they can move the pedestrian crossing from on the corner and put the pedestrian crossing further back, nearer to the medical center, where the road straightens. Because I have almost seen a deadly accident around the corner there with somebody trying to cross. That pedestrian crossing is badly located. It should not be on the corner. It should be on the straight path of the road. That's my suggestion.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, caller.
I'll take this last call, and I'll let you address his concern. Good morning. His suggestion, I should say.
GQ, me again.
Hey.
I just need to let the officer, the female officer, that I know the difference between learners, because practically all the learners that I encounter on the street, they do have on the L. And so, and I am impatient with them, because I too had learned to drive. My problem is that using the hand signal, and when they don't learn to drive, they don't even use the indicator. I believe, this is what I believe. If you want to use the hand signal, I believe you should also use the indicator. Not just the hand signal alone. Let them get accustomed to using the indicator. Because many times I see some, Mark, to be frank, many times I see some of them making a turn and they have the indicator on and the hand signal. If you want to continue using the hand signal, me got a problem with that. But they must use the indicator because I'm not looking for somebody to push out the hand. This is just, I just need to let the officer know that I understand the difference. And people, most cars, all the cars that teaching people to drive, they do have on the L. It's just that the indicator and the hand signal, somehow they need to get rid of the hand signal. Thank you.
All right. I said 2, but those 2 last callers got in before. So let's take this call. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to Jackie and your personnel there.
Yes, morning.
My concern is when they stop, if there's an accident or they're removing tint or for whatever reason, or stop and search, and they stop and they have somebody directing the traffic. Most of the time, sometimes it's the traffic wardens, and especially when it's like in the evening, they're giving the hand signal. They're using their wrist instead of the forearm, and it's very difficult because they just you have the fingers going back and forth, and you in a distance sometimes they take in consideration the lighting and sun, you cannot see. And what I am suggesting is that when it comes to these kind of times, they should at least have on a glove, a white glove, so you can pick up the hand movement in the distance. They might be calling you and you do not see because that has happened to me. And then when I get close to them, some of them are being very abusive, right? Which sometimes it's no fault of yours. Because they're calling you, but because the place is a bit dark and the hand is dark, you cannot see the movement of their hand, right? So I am suggesting that when they have to do these traffic control or giving direction to the traffic in the event of whatever happened, that they have on a white glove and they use the forearm, not just the wrist. That's my suggestion.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
All right, so let's take this last call. Hopefully it'll be an original one. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I support that caller there 100%. I experienced that so many times. And this hand business without, you can't see the hand. Just the wrist is moving. And you just can't see it at times. And I support the last caller 100%.
Thank you for your call, man.
You're welcome.
It's what I sense from those callers is they are trying to be law-abiding citizens, but they're getting abused, and they're not seeing the hand signals properly. So it's not that they're not trying to adhere to you wanting them; it's just that the signal that you're giving is not clear. So I guess that's
that's something we have to take into consideration.
In-house education now. You have 2 campaigns going on. One education on the outside for the public, and you now need some in-house education as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And one way to improve that, we can, and this is why we are saying that sometimes civic-minded citizens and those who are in a position to give donate equipment, because persons have come forward. Even those things that you use at the airport, the colored lights, things like those are what we need to have that will aid in the clear direction that you highlighted. Even some highlighted bands, so then you would be able to give that, that
when the light
it illuminates in the night, so they will be able to see. So we are those are efforts that we can make to improve, because it's all about service delivery and getting the partnership and the cooperation of the public.
And not just getting the cooperation, actually doing it when you can. Like for example, that suggestion from a previous caller who called in before, as it relates to Keon and the pedestrian.
Yes, trust me.
Can you do something about that?
Yes, we can. And I appreciate caller number 8. I really appreciate that call, GQ. And because I was driving through there one evening and I'm saying to myself, we need to move it. Because once you're coming around the corner, it's really difficult for you to, so the caller is really, really correct. And that is something that I have to get my painter to get sorted out as soon as possible.
All right.
Thank you very much, caller.
All right, so that's it for us this morning, unless you want to take these last two calls. All right, so we'll take them then.
Yeah, well, I just want to say final thoughts.
Oh, sure. I'll let you say your final thoughts. Oh, okay. I'll let you say your final thoughts. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, gentlemen.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, I just have two quick points we wanted to raise. I believe the two things I'd like to suggest is camera, for one, which is very, very, very important, and signage. Going around the roundabouts, you have a lot of people coming in here who's not familiar with the traffic here in St. Kitts. Not even familiar with some of the signage. We need to get international signage. When you're approaching a roundabout, you're supposed to have the signage to say which lane you should go in, wherever you're going. They have some little wiki sign there that you can't even see until you're in your approach to your roundabout. And that's what causes problems, especially to new drivers and foreign drivers. So I've called before, I'm emphasizing this again, we need to get proper signage before you reach the roundabout. Not when you reach the roundabout, you say a little sign saying this hour. That is one thing I strongly suggest. The big green sign saying, hey, you're going to Frigate Bay, you have the 2 lanes, this is the lane you go. You're going to Bird Rock, that's the lane you go. That will eliminate a lot of problems. The next thing I'd like to suggest, and that will also help with the workload, what do you call it, the workforce you have there, we use cameras on the old road bay. Instead of having manpower there, you put cameras there. We have St. Kitts now is going all high tech. So everything is being going through the what do you call it, cameras, right, and stuff. We set up cameras. You just give these guys tickets. Let them feel it in their pocket. You don't have to have policemen guarding up another place and they could be doing something else. You put up the cameras that they do in North America and so forth, and hey, you got a ticket. You're driving there over the driveway, they pay the ticket and you got points too. That's another thing we need to do.
Yeah.
When you get these tickets, your points add up, your driver's license being suspended.
Yes.
That's the only way you can get control. Suggestion, that's it. Yeah.
Very good suggestions, caller. Very, very good suggestions.
All right. Let's take this final call. Good morning.
Good morning to you and Officer Donnelly and Mr. McGuire.
Good morning.
Yes, good
morning.
May I humbly make a suggestion to sort of piggyback on the second to last caller? Because I'm here thinking, when it comes to the roundabout, it seems as though left and right giving everybody problems. So like he suggested, some sort of, whether overhead signage, or if possible, write the names of the areas that you can go on either side of the roundabout in the road. But I think the overhead one is better, not the tiny ones that you put down on the roundabout itself, because somebody is going to knock them down. But the overhead ones, I mean, just like a previous caller said, you see them in the States and so. The tall, something like the light. With the arm across, and you have the names of the areas left side to Bastille, around for the right side, or whatever. Because I honestly don't understand. This is why sometime ago I Inspector Mills and I told him maybe they need to take the lanes out of the roundabout and go back to the one-way thing, because I even gave him an exercise to do. I said, Inspector, I would like you to check the statistics and see how many accidents we've had in around any of those Frigate Bay roundabouts, the 3 in Frigate Bay, compared to the newer roundabouts. When we had just those in Frigate Bay, you hardly ever heard of accidents when it was one lane. Everybody knew when to give way. But not now. Left and right seem to be giving everybody a lot of licks and issues, so please. The overhead signage is one of the best things. The pole, just like the light pole, as high as that. Anything smaller, trust me, they will be knocked down. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful day, folks.
You too, my dear.
Thank you.
You too. It's another good suggestion, dear. Finally, I can take any more calls. This is just a compliment for you as it relates to training officers to use hand signals. They said that they think you should be the person to do so. They admire you when you used to do it back in the days. They say you were the beauty to behold. With your gloves and your fancy whatever you used to do.
Thank you so much.
I'm not familiar with the jargon, so pardon my ignorance.
That's okay.
That is one of the things that made Donnelly so much a popular police officer. The traffic. I mean, people used to actually leave if they're on lunch break and so just to look at Donnelly direct the traffic.
What's up now? Let's take this last. This is a voice note. Let's see what this person has to say.
Good morning. I'm trying to get in, but I can't get in. I have a question. Can the officers tell me if they stop checking vehicles with persons wearing masks? Why I ask is that 2 days now I've seen the school buses. One, yesterday I saw 2 school buses with children. Some had on masks. One driver in one of the buses had on masks. The other bus driver, he had no mask at all. The bus was filled with school children, and I don't recall seeing anyone in mask in that second bus. The one with the driver had the mask on. I saw a few with their mask on. So I just need to know if, because the vaccine is now being introduced, if police have stopped policing persons in vehicles with masks, because this morning I saw another school bus with the driver without mask and the school children without mask.
No, the police have not stopped policing the wearing of masks. It continues to be an offense, and in fact, even though the vaccine is available, then it is always still encouraged that you wear a mask until we reach the required safety, the herd immunity. And so we will continue, we are continuing the enforcement of the wearing of masks. Yes.
All right.
And with that, let me just take the opportunity, GQ,
yes, please,
to remind our listeners again the ongoing rehabilitation work in the Old Road District. This is for the facilitation of the fiber optic cable. This has been done by the cable, and I want to encourage the persons working, that they, if for some reason when they are about to finish for the day, if they are not able to cover back up the holes, that they put some cones to indicate, because report has been made that persons' vehicles are dropping, falling between in the ditches, and that can pose a hazard. But I want to encourage persons, once you're approaching that area where the work is being done, you have a responsibility to be cautious and drive safely, especially in the night. We continue to emphasize the road safety. We continue to engage the community and our stakeholders. We continue to do so with a view that we can strengthen the collaboration between the police and the general public. So thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having us as always. Continue to enjoy your week.
And thank you for going more than the usual overtime.
Yes.
This is a program within a program.
Yes.
Ease up off the gas.
Hey, the Marshalls go to your compliments to Cables, Metal Electronics, Domino's, Fisherman's Village, Park Hyatt St. Kitts Christoph Harbor, Digicel, and National Bank, always here. We'll be back right after these messages.
When I wake